Hello, today I will be doing a complete guide, start to finish, on how to kill the boss bloon on elite mode with no powers or insta monkeys. Now, this one is actually a bit tricky, and it took me a few tries to get it down. So basically what we need is maxed out monkey knowledge, and if you don't have it, well, that's too bad. You might have to use some powers or instas to get through, but if you have maxed out monkey knowledge, you can do it without. So when I say no powers, I don't count Banana Farmer as a power. It literally just picks up my bananas and makes my life easier. So we have a Banana Farmer, but basically what we do for the start is we place down our free Dart Monkey. We have Benjamin, and we want to kind of use Ben's biohack to make it so we don't die, and that Dart Monkey can do a little bit of extra damage. And we're going to be tanking a lot of early lives because we need to get our farms down. And this is basically what the whole game mode is about. You need to farm super hard, or else you will have zero chance of winning, because we need to farm about $3 million-ish in order to get all the towers we want to get to beat the final boss, which has over 40 million health. And also, the final boss not only has 40 million health, it spits out fortified bads and DDTs and all of that nasty stuff. So it is really difficult to take down, and we do need a lot of cash. Now, getting $3 million before round 120 is super easy, but this is like no ordinary gameplay. You also have super tough bloons in between. So on 40, we get our first one, and they're pretty difficult to defend against. So we're just going to farm as much as possible. I'm starting off with getting a couple 200s, and then we're going to go after this one. We will get another one up here, and this one will become a bank. So we're just going to try to rush bank. The bank deposits did get nerfed, but they are still better than plantations and marketplaces, but the factories are much better than spamming banks. So we're going to need to get some banks until we can get the banana central, and that will give us a lot of money when we spam the factories. So right here, I'm just eyeing the amount of money we have, and I am going to sell at some point to get the bank up. And then we just want to get this up as early as possible. As you can see there, I sold for the bank. So when we have the bank up as early as possible, we'll start gathering up that interest, and it will make a pretty fair amount of money. We want to cross path, and while that's going down, we want to kind of upgrade this tack in between so we just don't die. We will be really low at the end of the day. I think we're we're down on 16 lives right now, but you kind of have to do that, or else you'll get behind on the farms. And if you get behind on the farms, you get behind on the defense, and you just die. Either or, you get behind on the farms even more and keep up with the defense and then die later on. So we need to be good with the farms. And there you can see I sold again to get another bank, and I got an alchemist just to deal with the leads early on. So what we're doing is just making the smallest defense possible to survive and farming as much as possible. Now, we're going to be farming as much as possible until round 40, which then I'm going to explain about what I'm going to get next. But while this is going down, I actually just hit 1,000 subscribers like a few hours ago after recording this. We kind of had a big stream, and that was a lot of fun, and then the stream VOD ended up blowing up. So that was really neat, and we got a lot of subscribers. So we did go over 1,000, which is super neat. And with that, I will be doing a smallish Q&A. So I explained this on the other video, but if you want to leave another comment asking like another question about my life or the game or whatever, then just feel free. I will probably answer it unless it's like a repeat question or it's like private in a matter. So that will happen. So the video where I answer the questions will come a bit later, and well, that will just happen. So round 40 is coming up, and this is where I'm kind of preparing my defense. I get a wall of fire to help stop some balloons. I get some discounts to make these cheaper, and I get two of 4 overdrives with an alchemist, and these do insane damage against this. And as you can see, it's already going down, but this thing is spitting out ceramics, so we have to get more glaives in the back. And I think a few times I ended up having to reset on either this one or the next boss bloon, but I get a waff in the back there to kind of help out. Those ceramics at the end are often very deadly, and I ended up having to like sell a farm there, so that's kind of bad. the selling a farm is always bad, so we ended up getting it back. And once we kind of had like the ceramics that come out of control and we were doing enough damage, I just continued on farming because you need to get farming down. So if you don't have as many banks as I do at this point, you've just got to get more, because I kind of barely scrape by at the end of the day. On one of the Bloss balloons where we need to buy the VTSG, I kind of got it in the middle, and I ended up getting very close. So if you're behind on farms, you have less than me, you just have to keep farming even harder until you catch up, or else this will not work. So we beat that one, and the next one's coming in 12 rounds. So I think after this, we start getting IMF loans. And with the IMF loans, we can do deposits and get a bunch of money. And then we're going to loan spam into a Banana Central. So you can see that just go down. If you don't know about the IMF loan deposits, you just put money in and you get the higher interest. Again, it's finance. And if you don't understand that, well, that's okay. Just do what I do and it will all work. All right, we're getting ready for the next boss balloon, and this is the one that I kind of struggled with. So for the strat for this one, in order to take out the layer itself, we get tax zone and a super brittle. I changed the alchemist there so we get 420. It's better on the tax zone, and we're just gonna try to beat this guy up. So I did struggle a bit on this one, and I ended up having to go home and back several times. And if it does come down to that, definitely do that, and you don't want to lose the whole game when you could just keep pushing along. So I end up collecting some money. We get the super brittle a little late. If we got it a bit earlier, that would have been better. But now we're going to want some defense in the back to clear out these balloons, because this guy's spitting out BFBs, and when they get far, it's no good. So we're going to get that down, and I'm also trying to get an overclock here. For the farm, we need to just keep on farming. We got our first factory up, and if you overclock the factory, it makes way more money. So as you can see here, the balloons are getting pretty close, and that's no good. So I do exit out in a bit here. Yeah, you see this big wave? That's no good. You're going to die from that. So we're going to exit out, come back in. It will kind of put us where we started, and it's just going to come down and go again. So this time, we just need to be a little bit better. I ended up getting an MIB, so the shots did not get blocked. So we have that, and I get a cryo cannon and I think like a recursive to kind of deal with the mobs and ceramics, and that ended up working. And I might have had to restart like another time after this, but basically we just keep on farming. We have a good chunk of IMF loans. We still have a few banks, and we have that one factory. And after we kind of get past this with nuisance, this boss is definitely a bit harder than the others. Then we can go straight in for the central, and we will get big money. Now, basically with the strat for the Banana Central is you don't want to use any banks, because the Banana Central will buff all the factories, and it makes them produce a ton of money. So you just get them around in a whole group, and then we get a 104 farm, overclock the farm so it gets massive range, eat up all the factories, and then that farm will be making tons of money, and then we can get them all back around, and we will be on track to get the $3 million that we need for the Vengeful, the Paragons, and all the support towers. Right, so back from our farming, we should have a ton of money now. And as you can see, we have some towers here. So we have an MAD, we have a Sun Avatar, we have a Taxon, we have a Super Brittle. Now, why are we choosing these towers? Well, it's because these are the towers that I'm going to sacrifice to my temple later on when it's time to do that. And we're doing it with these towers because all of these towers are really good against this next bloon that's going to come by. So instead of doing like the more efficient ones, I'm doing the ones that will be more efficient instead of cost wise, but damage wise to kill this boss so we can end up farming even more for the temple later on. So as you can see, it's going to come, and the MAD, all these towers, even with the perma brew especially, they're going to shred this thing. And this one will actually be pretty easy. We just need to continue farming and all this craze. As you can see, we got the Monkeyopolis, so we did that. We just continue overclocking the central, and then we continue buying farms. Just use your ability, and you might have to retarget the mad wherever the Bloonarius goes. And this one will go down pretty quickly. As you can see, it has not moved far, but the health bar is going down, and it is spitting out bads, which can be an issue, but as long as you have the mad in the right spot, that is under control and completely fine. So this one is a lot easier. As long as you have enough farms, you can keep on farming and moving along. The next ones are going to get a bit trickier because they'll have 10 million health, and then the big one is 40 million health. So let's get to that. Alright, so here we are building a Vengeful. If you don't know how to build the Vengeful, I can quickly explain it. 2 tier 5 monkeys outside the range of the temple get full sacks, 3 on the first, 4 on the second, and then upgrade, make sure the supers are outside the range and they're all going to come together. You also need the MK point for it, but if you're doing this, you should have full MK, so that should be fine. And as you can see here, I'm a little bit late to the farming. I should have this before it comes out, but I just get it right in time there. We get the Camo Village on, and we have the Vengeful Temple, and this should make this one easy. We might need a little bit of support, so I get like the Homeland, the Perma Brew, and now I'm going to work on another temple kind of in the back here. This will be one just with the support sacrifice, nothing else. You don't really need anything else on it. And we get it outside the range, get the support sac, and then we upgrade the range on it so it can cover the other temple, the Vengeful Temple, and then that temple will have an extra support sacrifice on itself, which will make it much stronger. So now it's going to be able to take this out easy. As you can see, the Vengeful is shredding it. As long as you are farming enough, you'll get the Vengeful in time, and it's good. Also, something very important now, I'm placing tier 5s, all the tier 5s for Dart Monkey and the Boomerang Monkey, and that's because we need to get some pops on them so that when we make the Paragons, they will get a higher degree. I think the Dart Monkey ends up getting 30, 32 or 30, and then the Boomer either gets the other one, so 30 and 32, I forget which one, but as long as we get that, we should be fine, and then that will go. And after this, we're going to kind of get a little bit more money and start spamming tier 4, these tier 4 boomerangs. And as you can see, boomerangs, dart monkeys, I have a lot of them. And when the boss bloon comes in, we're going to sacrifice all of them to get the Paragon tier 5, basically the 555, tier 6, whatever you want to call it, of the dart monkey and the boomerang monkey, and that will be enough damage to beat it. Also get support like a super brittle and a cripple mob over there, but that's basically all you need. And then after this is going to be the big guy, 40 million health. Just mash all the buttons, get the paragons they're going to sacrifice, and this will be enough damage to do it. And if you did not farm enough and you're kind of short, then you might have to use some powers. I would recommend using monkey boosts. They speed up the attack speed. So as long as you farmed enough, you can do it fine without powers or insta monkeys used. And that is how you beat it. We're just going to watch this play out, and you can spend your extra money that you have on just other towers to help out. So I get like a mad, and that will pop the boss bloon on elite mode tier 5, and you get some pretty sick rewards for this. You get 2 tier 5 insta monkeys, which are really cool, and you can also get another achievement out of that if you don't have the instant gratification achievement, so you can get 2 achievements out of this. And then I think there's some other ones that come as well. So this guy will just slowly go down, but if you have everything I have, and if you farmed enough, you'll beat it just fine, so no worries. Tell me what you thought about this event. I honestly thought it was a lot of fun. It's like a big struggle to get everything down in time while fighting these big balloons. And tell me if you had any alternate strategies to beating this. Goodbye.